Hey, I'm confused.
I know, but this is a really supportive household, and we just want you to be happy.
I'm confused about you.
Me? Oh, well, that just kind of depends on the day, you know what I mean?
I'm confused about whether you're good or not.
Yes, obviously. It's a good question right now. It's a good question.
I think you're bad.
I don't know if I'm bad, really, you know?
But you aren't good.
No, I don't think I'm good.
The thing is, you guys just don't make any sense.
Correct.
You don't seem to be bothered by this.
Well, honestly, I went into the year with high expectations and low expectations, and I just haven't felt confident about either side yet.
So what, you've just accepted that you have no idea what to expect from your team?
Accepted it until the team decides on a direction. Up or down.
Yeah, but aren't you worried about getting stuck in the mushy middle?
Are you? You make the conference finals like every other year, and never have enough talent to compete in them, let alone win them.
Whoa, that is not the same thing.
Tell me the main difference.
I get a chance at the cup every year.
Sort of.
This cannot be a serious debate.
Hey, all I'm saying is the conference finals are fun the first couple of times, but eventually you just become another team that can't get over the hump.
Yeah, well, at least I make it to the hump.
Oh, you want to talk about the hump? I've made it to the hump.
You don't know shit about the hump.
I've been deeper in the hump than you can even comprehend.
Oh, really? Really? Well, I seem to remember being at the hump every year, and I don't ever see you there.
Oh, you want to see me at the hump? You want to see what I do with the hump?
Well, I'll be the one dealing with the hump.
Don't tell me who's dealing with the hump. This is my fucking hump.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with where this is going.
Yeah, let's call it there. Yeah, good call. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team that is a dub. 3 in a row and against the Canes. Our cup, it runneth over. We're back to 500. We're 7-7 and 0. Again, 500 is not the goal, but like I feel pretty good about that after having lost 6 straight earlier in the season. This was, I mean, if you remove the 6-game losing streak, we're 7-1. If you remove all of our losses, this was the most entertaining game this season from my perspective. I'm sure some of you have others that you would throw into the category. And I was kind of bummed because I don't make a habit of this because sometimes it gets overly negative and frustrating to see people get that upset about what is basically a game. Literally a game. I went over to the Canes Twitter page just to see if people are like, damn, that was like just hard fought. The way I thought, right? Of just every inch was a battle. These teams really brought it to each other. And they were all like, oh my God, we sucked today. We played down to our opponent, the friggin' Bruins. So I was like, oh, all right, never mind. I thought they were like, what a good battle. Most of them did not feel it was a good battle. And that's not to say all of them, because oftentimes the ones posting underneath their teams on Twitter and stuff are like gonna have more to say rather than just the happy-go-lucky stuff, you know. I think that's a fair assumption. Definitely on the Bruins side of things too. They tend to be really upset with admin or really, really happy. There's no in between. This was an awesome game. The goaltending was great. The defensive aspect of it was really strong, but there were a lot of scoring chances, a lot of posts. It's just a really entertaining game left and right, and it felt you figured out fairly quickly. Like the first period goes by, and you're still, as a Bruins fan, still worried about the dam breaking open, right? If they get 1, do they then get 4? That's more of us being trained into it, Pavloved into it. We've seen it a bunch. It's really only happened once this season, but last year it happened so often that I think the concern is still there. But about 5 minutes into the second period, even though the Canes were bringing it, I felt like that's where my mind kind of transitioned to, oh, this next goal actually just might win the game. It was just one of those vibes where every play suddenly felt like it mattered so very much as it could for a game, the first game of November. It had a playoff vibe to it. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I guess that's just a long way to say that I had a lot of fun with this one. And if you haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, I would advise pausing this video, going to watch that game, and then coming back if you want to. It's already been spoiled for you, I'm sure, but it was a very entertaining game. Check out the Discord, linked below. Also, the YouTube membership program, and then like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. Let's talk about the Canes a little bit, who are 7-3-0 in their last 10 coming into this game, and that sounds really great, but there's actually been some frustrations with the Hurricanes. Not in like a severe way, but if you're just poking in as a casual fan, you'll see their record, and you go, oh, okay, so 7-3-0 last 10, that's a good winning record, a really good winning record for the NHL. But they beat teams like Philly, San Jose, Anaheim, the Kings, the Islanders. I mean, some of those teams aren't terrible. They also beat Colorado in a shootout. Okay, great. But they also lost to Vegas twice and to Dallas. And as far as a Canes fan would say, I think their barometer right now is more about, all right, are we competing with the top teams? Because I would say the Canes are in full, be healthy for the playoffs. I don't really care about the regular season that much. Now, hockey fans, we're going to enjoy the regular season. But the Bruins just exited this stage, where for a long time, it was, we should be there at the end of the year. I want to see this team go on a run, stay healthy, and then see what we can do. There's just not as much weight on the regular season games. Now, real quick, they are 13th on the penalty kill and 14th in goals allowed per game. That's a very nice uniform way to look at their defense. They are first in goals scored per game, while sporting a league low 9%, 9-ish percent on the power play. They're dead last in power play percentage, but score more goals than any other team per game, at least before going into this one. Can this team just be normal for like a second? Just a second? But again, they're just not concerned about any of that stuff because the expectation is for things to even out, to be top 10 in both categories by the end of the season. Their power play will rebound, their PK will get better. It usually does. Their defense in general will get better. They won't have to rely on Brandon Bussey, even though he's been playing really well for them, which I know I'm going to hear about a bunch if he continues to do so. There's not a lot of concern coming out of this team. If you were going to pick one thing, it would be the fact that Svechnikov, their 25-year-old, almost $8 million winger, has been relegated to the third line, which, if you're familiar with the Canes, isn't that surprising because Rod the Bod will switch those lineups around for whatever he feels like, whenever he feels like, and does not feel like he owes anyone a specific amount of minutes, which I actually kind of like. I feel like he's weird about it, but for the most part, a coach who's not afraid of the name on the back of the jersey and is doing whatever it takes for the crest on the front kind of feels like the right decision, right? Well, Svechnikov only has 3 points in the 10 games that they played so far. No one seems to be that worried. I mean, I'm sure you could find pockets of it and fans complaining about it, but the general sense I get is, it's early, right? I mean, we could all learn a thing from that. It's early. It's not that big of a deal. At the same time, though, the nerves are there in kind of a subtle sense because they have these losses to the teams that they're supposed to be competing with, the really good teams. And some of those good teams are starting slow as well. I just get this weird limbo from that fan base right now. And my closest friend is a Canes fan, and he's kind of like, I can't be overly invested right away because he, for years, watched this team be terrible. And then they got good. And I've said this before on the Short Shift Pod. Check it out. The Short Shift Podcast, that when that team got good, I told him, like, this is kind of the part that is, it's fun, but it gets to not be fun too, because then your expectations are up and it gets a lot more brutal and you get a lot more picky about their performances. Anyway, I'm just rambling to say that even though there's things to point out with the Canes where you go, I don't love this, the only thing they're concerned about is, are we competing with the top teams in the league right now? Because the expectation is to absolutely be there, hopefully conference finals by the end of the year, and in their heads, of course, win a conference finals for once. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? Not for the rest of us. Jarvis is a game time decision. He does play, but they are missing Carrier, Robinson, Slavin, Miller, and Gostisbehere. Man, I did not pay enough attention to that before the game started. They are missing a lot on that back end. Woof. I'm not poking any holes in this win. This is a great win. For the Bruins, we have Geeky, Huznadinov, Pasta, yeah, Middlestat, Zaka Arvidsson, Janot, Mitten, Kostelik, Beecher, Corelli, Asamont, Zadorov, Mack, Hampus, Peak, Aspero, Yoki Haru, Swayman, and Net. Couple things really quick. Just to check in on the Bruins in general. I'm taking too long with this intro part, but you'll kind of see why in a minute. The Bruins right now are 13th in the power play, 15th in the penalty kill, 16th in goals for per game, and 27th in goals allowed per game. Neither goaltender has a save percentage above an 890. Before this game, I think our best save percentage was 886 for Swayman, I think. This game would have obviously boosted him. We rank 31st in the league in expected goals for percentage at 5-on-5 with 43% of the expected goals. And we have no idea if this team will start to show better analytics and kind of track their way back to being more competitive and difficult to play against. Again, 7-7. Like, I'm not throwing that away or anything, just the underlying metrics. Or if we're in for a very long season and these metrics are going to stick and then the results are going to creep towards what those metrics are saying. It's early enough that I still get to ignore any red flags because it could go either way. Beecher slots back into the lineup. They're currently unable to call someone up without sending someone down through waivers, which would be VL, I'm sure, who had a great camp, but it seems like a worthwhile risk. I can't imagine someone's chomping at the bit to pull VL off waivers. I don't know. But they have to wait till they put Elias on IR if they do want to open a spot up without having to send someone down. I still think that would be Patra. I understand why they didn't do it immediately, though. Elias is likely to miss at least a few weeks. There's no real update on exactly what's wrong. Lohrei remains scratched. We are going to talk about him at the very end of the video, though, because I've seen a lot of people be upset about this and frustrated with their handling of Lohrei. I have an opinion on that. Might not be a popular one, but we'll get there. Let's talk about the game, shall we? Puck drops. Puck drops! 10 minutes into the game, Seth Jarvis is going to get a breakaway after some excellent stick work in the neutral zone. He gets robbed by Swayman. So far, it's been tightly contested. Every inch matters. Every opportunity you've had to earn. The Canes have had the better of the opportunities. Have hit the post twice so far. But it's been competitive, up and down the ice. 6:29 left. It's incredible hockey being played throughout. We're 13 and a half minutes in. It's fun. It's electric. There's good goaltending. There's good defensive plays. There's fast transitions. Really fun hockey. And then the refs are like, God, I wish I could get involved. So they do. And they're going to call Zadorov for being strong. Zadorov throws Kotkaniemi down. They call holding. We go to the penalty kill. Look, I know that there's going to be mixed takes on this one. A few people have reached out already. I think it was a bad call. And I think it was a bad call because he doesn't grab him and pull him down. He pushes him, which is a completely legal play. And Kotkaniemi, who's half this guy's size, takes a tumble. We saw this with Chara all the time. There's a big guy tax that you have to pay sometimes. That's not a good call. If Huznadinov does that to him, that's not a call. Not at any point, even if he knocks him down. But because Zadorov's so big and it looks so mismatched, that's what happened there. That's my take on it, at least. In the end, doesn't really matter that much. So immediately to start the penalty kill, Kostelic gets a free turnover after misplay by the Canes on the blue line. Anderson comes up big with the save this time. So we've traded chances on the breakaway and each time been robbed. Swayman then has to make a massive save as the PK unit way overcommits to a scrum in the blocker side corner. Remember I said this, overcommitting to a corner. One of the few mishaps of this game for the Bruins. It does mean that the Canes win the board battle and get the puck to Blake, who's alone in front of Swayman, and Swayman has to come up with another huge save. It's a great kill, particularly by Swayman, but we move on. Second period starts. 1:43 in. Ehlers is going to go for holding. We're going to go power play. No dice. The large majority of this period is the Canes giving it to the Bruins. But the Bruins not giving up a ton of shots. And, in fact, I think the period ends 9-6 in shots in favor of the Canes for that period, not for the whole game so far, which is fine, right? Like, we had a couple transition chances, but the second period, with our lack of speed, we don't have a ton of speed on the team, and especially when you're getting outpossessed like that, second period means it's hard to get the change, which means when you finally do get a chance to change, you cannot go forward with the offensive play. You have to give the puck back and just get some fresh bodies on the ice, or else you're risking way too much, especially when your team is designed to counterpunch rather than just bring it to them. So we don't get a lot of traction really at all. The third line, was cooking, but that's about it. We're going to go third period. This is why I could take so long with the beginning of this, because there was no second period as far as notes go. Third period starts, and 1:27 in, the Canes are setting up shop in our zone again. And I think a lot of us are sitting there going, man, we'll see how this works out, but the expectation is try to get a point out of it, maybe be the first team to score, but this is tight. And it's not like we were that much of worse than the Canes during this game. They just had way more possession than we did. But they try to feed the slot, and McAvoy has the player covered up and deflects the puck away. Middlestat then collects it and launches a 3-on-2 the other way. This was a good bounce and a good pickup by Middlestat to immediately recognize that if he pushes the pace, they have a mismatch. He's going to go over the blue line, and the moment he does, the offensive blue line, he's going to pass it to his left for Zacha. Zacha's going to one-touch that right back the other way. Maybe not quite one touch, but quickly moves it right back the other way to McAvoy crossing the right side of that blue line. McAvoy has to make a great pickup. He uses the outside of his skate to redirect the puck forward to his stick, which if he doesn't do this in stride, this chance doesn't exist, because all of a sudden, the player who was in front of Zacha when he first received that pass hesitated, stopped with him, meaning a 2-on-1 now develops because Middlestat kept going to the net on the left side. McAvoy's on the right. McAvoy's pass is strong enough that even though Walker gets a piece of it, it still gets to its intended destination, which is a backdoor tap-in for Middlestat. Anderson has more of a chance because of that pause from the contact from Walker's stick, but still not enough, and it's 1-0. And this is where we all just went. They're not going to allow a goal right away, right? We're going to are they going to be able to shut them down now, or are we going to give one back 30 seconds from now? And somehow, not only do we prevent them from doing that, but 5:05 in, which is about 3.5 minutes later, the Bruins are getting absolutely caved. They're just bending, but not breaking. But McAvoy again blocks a shot in the D zone. Middlestat again collects and sees Arvidsson reacted immediately and started skipping his way past the defense. So a perfect lob pass gets Arvidsson on the breakaway. He's going to skate into the internal side of that right circle. And he's going to snipe a Rooney and cheese top blocker side. And it's 2-0. Yeah, there's 15 minutes left. Yeah, you still have a long road to go, but it's kind of the design of the team. We'll do a game note right now. This was what the front office envisioned, and when this team can be competitive, it is a counter-attack team. They are going to get caved in sometimes by possession metrics, but bending, not breaking, and then you look for that interception, that strong defensive play, that smart defensive play that allows you to have numbers going the other way. People like to pretend that players don't get tired when they're on the offensive side of the puck, of the rink. Which is somewhat true, right? You're moving less, and when you are moving, there's more energy for it. There's more excitement, more adrenaline, more chances, things of that nature. So there's a different feeling to it. But a long possession in your zone that ends in a deflection that leads to a fast break the other way, you're still gassed, dude. Like, you can't... This is a weird kind of boxing thing at this point where let them unload. Keep chucking them. If they haven't gotten the switch out in time, all of a sudden the counterattack, this guy's tired. You knock him right through the chin and he's down. It's not a perfect analogy because that's not really how hockey is always going to work. And you create a lot of bad bounces for your team when you spend a lot of time in your zone. But the vision, once again, for this front office was we need to be able to endure time in our ice and then punch back. That's what they did twice. I'm just saying. Does this game go our way 10 out of 10 times? Absolutely not. But if you can stay competitive in them and take half of them, that's a team that can fight their way through any sort of mismatch. That's a little hyperbolic, but you know what I'm saying. 2:49 left. The second major mistake made by the Bruins in this game. Look at this picture. This is four guys in the corner, committed, and they're going to lose that board battle. The puck's going to get moved to Nikishin, who's at the center of the blue line. Geeky's going to skate up to him, the lone guy who wasn't in that scrum. And Geeky actually ends up screening the shot from Swayman. He picks up the shot a little late. It's also perfect top blocker. It's a hell of a howitzer. And it's 2-1, and now we got to sweat this out, and we do. We're unable to get the empty netter, but it's a 2-1 victory against the friggin' Canes. Wildly confidence building. Just exactly the type of game that Sturm walks into the room. The boys are getting settled after like the height of this win. And he walks in and goes, "Fuck yeah! That's what we're doing! That's Bruins hockey!" I probably just clipped the hell out of this microphone at this point. But that's what this is supposed to be. Is it sustainable and is it going to lead to good games every night? But that's how you compete with these high-powered, offensive-minded, creative, possession-based, structured teams. Is you simply stand there and take their bullshit until you get an opportunity and you capitalize. And all of a sudden they're scrambling and you get a second one. It's just beautiful. The whole game, beautiful. Awesome. And I think Sturm's pressing a lot of the right buttons. Couple of game notes. We're going to talk real quick. I just want to say, the third line, the new look third line, Jeannot, Minton, and Kostelic, which I love Minton. I love this guy. He's so responsible. He's great on the penalty kill. He's great in the defensive zone. He makes nice plays going forward. Is he an offensive savant? No, not yet. He's also still young, and he is a very good NHL player. I love this kid. We got him and a first. Good trade. That Carlo trade was a good trade. I miss Carlo. I love Carlo. But that was a really, really good trade for us. Sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, that Jeannot, Minton, Kostelic line were easily the most frustrating line to play against. I know the second line is the one that did some damage. They get caved a lot, but their counterattack has been solid and getting better. Obviously, McAvoy played a huge role in that too, but the third line was by far the most frustrating line to play against for the opponents. If there's one thing you want to do in a game, it's stuff that the opponent doesn't like. I know that sounds really obvious, but if you look at any other sport, including this one actually, you will watch games where a coach makes a decision and you go, that's exactly what your opponent wanted you to do. What was this? We talk about that all the time. This line is exactly what an opponent doesn't want you to do. It's pretty quick between Minton and Kostelic. Jeannot's not fast. Jeannot, who gets away with so many fucking holding calls, it's insane, by the way. He could have had 3 in this game. Penalties, I mean. He could have taken 3 penalties. But Jeannot lays a heavy forecheck when he's there on time. And he's a bitch to play against on the boards. It's not enjoyable. He's mean. He's a mean guy. Love to have him on your side. Minton and Kostelic, flying next to each other. I mean, Minton's not afraid of anything, but Kostelic isn't afraid of anything. He doesn't care what segment of the ice he's in. He doesn't care if he has to keep his head down for a second. He doesn't give a shit. He is going to do whatever he can to make a play happen. And Minton is just going to be in the right spot all the time. Minton's not going to score a lot of goals in this line, I don't think. He's going to look to feed the other two. And I don't even know if this line is one that will score frequently. But it is a line that will get a good shift done. They will get into the offensive zone. They will push the pace while they're out there. They can switch out one by one, lay the forecheck, and allow, say, the first line to jump in and get an offensive zone start. There's a lot of like little stuff that this line does so well that everyone benefits from. Love this line. Do not change it. I don't care what the health situation is for anybody on the team. Don't change this line. Don't do it. I love this line. Couple other things. Pasta's comments on Kuznetsov before the game, or I think this was last night, but he said, and this is a quote, "I always say just play your game. There's a reason you got promoted to this line. Your game got you here, so just play your game. I will adjust to you. You don't have to adjust to me." When talking about him, he said he's an awesome guy, great kid in the room, and everybody loves him. He brings such positive energy every single day. We couldn't be happier for a guy like him. First of all, I think Pasta's just happy to have a guy next to him who's giving tape-to-tape passes. Which, even when Elias was playing better, that wasn't frequent. And Kuznetsov's doing great. He's doing great. Now, I don't know if the geeky Huznadinov pasta line's really going to work. But so far, the puck recoveries from Kuzi has been great. He's in a good position. He's dogged on the puck. He is exactly a kind of guy that you'd like to see with Pasternak. I do worry that he's not going to win enough board battles, and that's going to lead to possessions where you would kind of want more of a traditional power forward to feed Pasternak. But that's not in the cards right now. So far, Huznadinov is blowing me away. He's taking an opportunity, and he's achieving something with it. And like I said last video, he's building something here in Boston and deserves a ton of respect for it. Huznadinov's slander will not be tolerated. Will not be tolerated. Last game note, which isn't even a game note. Oh man, now I got really rambly. Lohrei has been scratched for 3 straight. Let's take some deep breaths here. Deep breaths here. It's okay. It is okay. And the reason it's okay is because these were some of the comments from Sturm. Sturm was asked about this situation. And Sturm said having him out there and be a little bit different when he comes back, that's the goal. Watching from upstairs, watching some other players and what they do well and what they do wrong. It's a learning process for him right now, and that's why we do it. He did add that he should be pissed. He should be very pissed. He should be upset, is what he said. Look, we've talked a lot about Lohrei and development and what's the right path, right? The way I see this one is, A, these comments are great. This is, as a player, personally, I'd be like, I am pissed. He's right. Like, he recognizes how I feel, first of all. Second of all, there's no easy way out of this. Sturm is being very clear. Like, you are going to get another opportunity. We know that. He knows that. You're going to get another chance. There's going to be an injury, or there's someone's game's going to go to hell, something. Lohrei knows he's going to get back in somehow at some point, right? The way out of this is an improved game. This coaching staff has shown already that they are very, very clear with their expectations with their players. Almost every player has said something along the lines of they tell you what they want. They're very direct with it. Nothing's coded. They don't feel like they're screwing something up or achieving something when it's actually the opposite. They're very much instructed on what is wanted from them. Lohrei knows the path forward here. Also, I think more people need to consider, walk into a room with Sturm right now and give your reasoning as to why he should start Lohrei. If it has anything to do with development, he's slamming the door in your face. We are 14 games into the season. A season that young means everyone wants to win. We too often make this mistake. I do all the time. We go into a season with expectations of being suboptimal. Not going to be a great year. Maybe another top 10 pick. That kind of stuff. And in our minds, that's the goal, is to make sure we have a good pick, but there's still development and growth from the young guys. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But in the early stages of every professional season, for every single league, for every single player, coach, front office member, everyone, they want to win. They want to be a miracle team. They want to be a team that had all the bad expectations, but actually blew everyone out of the water and surprised everybody. That's what they want. So when you lose 6 games in a row, and then a guy gets moved out of your lineup, and then you win a bunch of them, 4 or 5 now, I think? What are you supposed to tell Sturm? Hey, bring that guy back in. Yeah, well, let me wait till we fucking lose a game again. Then I'll bring him back in, okay? Is that okay with you? Look, I don't think anyone's wrong for being upset about Lohrei just sitting. I understand your reasoning quite well, and I think you are correct in portions of that reasoning. But the reality of the situation is, why would Sturm make a change? We're not trying to lose games. We're trying to win. We want to be in the playoffs. Is that best for the long-term outlook of the franchise itself? Maybe, maybe not. And yeah, probably not. But at the end of the day, these are grown-ass players who want to win championships. They don't care who's standing next to them. As long as they're winning, that's the goal. I just think you'd have a hell of a time walking in and telling Sturm, this is my reasoning for starting Lohrei. And him being like, all right, I'm with you. I know Aspero has had some really good segments and some not so good segments. He hasn't been lighting the world on fire. But I also don't think he's been a total liability. He He had one game that was like, ooh, this is not going well for him. At the end of the day, the team keeps winning, and they're not giving up a ton of goals. That's your decision-making right there. What else do you want? So, I understand where people are coming from, but I don't know how you're going to convince the guy. If he switched Lohrei in now, after 3 straight wins, and Asperos, I thought Aspero was pretty good in this game. Seems kind of weird, right? The message to the locker room also gets a little weird. Hey, you guys are playing great, but we're still going to make a change. I don't know. I think this is just a very obvious, at this point, a very obvious Sturm going, I want to keep winning games. If this is working, I'm not going to fuck with it. He's been very liberal in screwing with his lines and trying to find the right fits. Totally, he gives them a little time, doesn't work. All right, let's switch it up. Great. But he hasn't been making changes for funsies. That we also haven't seen. I'm happy. I think Sturm's pushing a lot of the right buttons right now. We said a couple of games ago, I said that you have to give Sturm some time to develop and to put his system in, and it's ugly right now, but he deserves the time. And look, we could follow this up with 3 straight losses. I don't know where this team's at right. This team is shocking me in every other week because they're doing things so wildly different. But what do we say? 20 games? Teams should be playing at least a structured, predictable system at around 20 games. Well, we're 14 in. I feel pretty comfortable. And obviously, this is great. This is a great win. I don't care if they're injured. This is a great win. I'll take it. Go Bees. Go Bees! Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video and joining me as we experience this crazy Bruins season together. The names popping up on your screen now are from the top line tier and the all-star tier of the YouTube membership program for this YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you who help support the channel so that we can do more fun things, and I am always open to more ideas of how I can help give back to those who support the channel. At the end of the day, this channel is always going to be about the community, and I want to continue to grow that way, so please always feel free to reach out with new ideas and fun ways we can expand on this, or if you just need someone to talk to, I'm always here for you guys. Thank you all for your support, and as always, go Bees!